Monday, January 13th, and we are going to be talking about the 300, which is going to be enumerated and disclosed and expounded upon, all the things by DJ Berg, who's here from Fathom Holding. This meeting is being recorded, so you will get notes from this. If there's a handout, DJ, if you could email it to me, and I will get it out to the team once the recording is done. And I will turn it over to you. I'm going to make you
awesome
the host here. One moment.
Alex Serb. I talked to Alex Serb on the phone. What a nice guy. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, this is so fun. I love this because
I'm glad he's on.
Right? You get to see all the people. Right? You're now the host, so you're in control of
Oh, good. I'm just going to use, let me make sure it works. Whiteboard is, and everybody just needs a piece of paper or their own iPad. So no, let me try a new whiteboard. Let me make sure it works here. Let me make sure everybody can see it. Let's go. You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And you can still see me or no?
No.
Oh, awesome.
Well, right. We see a little window up above, but
okay, I'll go back to that in a second. Thanks for having me. You're
gonna have to let people in because there are people trying to join right now. Just get.
I think it's auto joining.
Okay, so
also DJ depends on how we ourself view it. So I could still see you on a section, but it depends on how we set our viewing.
I'm just wondering if I pick my nose or, floss my teeth while I'm doing it and who can see me. It's nice to meet you guys. Krista is right. I work with Fathom Holdings. I own a separate company, so I sort of advise real estate companies. I hate the word consult because I really actually build other companies within the real estate company for companies like Fathom. And so one of the companies we're building is Fathom Business Systems for you guys, one coach at a time, one training. It's only started with trainings, but if you've been on any, Coach Wally has been a friend of mine for 20 years, and he is just short of a genius on the real estate side and so nice. So that's going to be a fantastic piece that we're adding. We're also heavily involved in the conversion rates. So Fathom has, and you guys are agents, so I could talk to you about it. Fathom has an amazing pay plan. It's all about you guys. In fact, that was essentially the vision of the company. It was, I've heard different people call it saving agents more money, etc. And I've owned real estate companies my whole lives. When you do give away almost 100% of the commission, and let's say you're a publicly traded company, which you guys are, you do have to run a company that's still profitable. So Susie, 10 years from now, closes a transaction, says, I love Fathom, and goes, where's Fathom? Oh, they're in business no longer because they gave me 100% commission and I don't care about them. So the agents over time, right, do need to care about the company that gives them so much. And what we do to develop that into a family that does profit, ELG and Compass Lending Group, I'm heavily involved with them on their conversion systems, and they actually fund the growth of the coaching company. So I think, like I talked to Alex Serb at least once. Maybe Krista was sick during that point. Krista has been gone forever.
I've been here the whole time.
She's been sick forever. But that's basically what we do. If we can help you grow your business, that's one hand reaching out and saying, hey, we can help you grow your business. Then you reach back and say, I will help support the Fathom family of businesses, things like loans, title, etc. So I'm growing all of that, and then some of the stuff on the leadership side. Now, that's the pitch for everything. I want to get into what this is about. 300. I owned real estate companies since I was 29 years old. All Southern California, fun areas, Huntington Beach, really cool area, Hollywood Hills. I had an office that had 800 agents in Hollywood Hills. David Beckham had an office above me, and all my female agents would ride the elevator in that building on Sunset. So I would just hold meetings in the elevator. That was just in case David Beckham got on the elevator, and I'm not even kidding. If so-and-so wasn't around, I would literally go look in the elevator, and there's like 3 of my agents riding up and down in the elevator. So that was fun. Pasadena was fun, although right now with the wildfires, I saw all of my old agents, like I've been on the phone, they've been losing their houses. I have one group of agents that actually learned what I'm going to show you today. They currently they gross $3.7 million a year. They're the Burns team out of La Cañada Flintridge. They started from zero with me on this presentation that I'm going to show you today. I did their post, was amazingly sad. They had 41 clients in the Altadena area that lost homes. So all of those, when you have tragedy as an agent in your area, it's like extra work. So I was literally with my super pregnant wife about 10 minutes ago, feeding her. And I got a text from one of my friends, Dave Knight. He said he's okay. An agent of mine that started from zero. Dave Knight has, for the last decade, grossed. His goal was to gross $1 million, not net $1 million. Or sorry, net $1 million, not gross $1 million. So he grosses about 1.7 million a year, and nets right about $1 million with his team. So what is this? What's 300? My companies, I sold them almost a decade ago. One of my claims to fame, I love you guys. I was an agent forever, investor. Then I started a company because I liked teaching. My claim to fame was I would take a new agent and I would turn him into a millionaire. Now, this may not sound like a big number to you guys, but my companies, and I had 4 real estate offices: Huntington Beach, Hollywood Hills, Pasadena, and past the Pacific Palisades out in a place called Palos Verdes. We created in 10 years over 200 millionaires. That you had, in order to qualify to be part of that quote that I just gave, those are agents that started from brand new or 0 transactions, essentially brand new, and they hit $83,000 a month for 1 year straight or more. And that was my little hook when I would call to recruit an agent or talk to an agent. Have you, maybe they did 12 transactions a year. How would you like to make $83,000 a month? That's what my program does. Right? Okay. So I would usually teach this multiple times a month, sometimes short, sometimes long. It's going to be very short, and that doesn't matter because you probably need to see it a few times. Also, somebody like Clyde over there, I love, he's been in the business a few times, a few years. He's going to go, I know all of that. Or somebody's going to say that. He's loud. Somebody's going to say that to themselves. And I will tell you that over 20 years of coaching, I use everything on this page and just go deep. So this is literally the only thing that I use to build my companies. Everything was on this page. Okay. So that's what 300 is. Are you ready? Here we go. Take good notes because we'll come back. I'll be able to break down a section. I'll be able, if I'm done fast enough, probably won't be done fast enough today, answer questions one time. You'll go, talk to me more about systems. Hey, where does AI fit into this? Hey, talk to me more about this. Talk to me about developing incredible client parties. I can do an hour just on that. All right. So this is the basic, reason I start with this is the framework to get your head around how our business works, right? So how you can sell more properties, it's all here. But you've got to get your mind around how this works globally. So whiteboards, new whiteboard, and then just take notes exactly like I'm doing it on the page. Okay. So there's going to be 4, this is your page. You can just do that like a tic-tac-toe, but smaller, a 4 square, they call it in the car business. And then at the top, right, in quotes, your income, ... quote. That is your business model. So I'm going to ask somebody, could be Krista and Joseph as well. I don't think they've seen this. So I'm going to ask somebody to unmute and tell me, what is the real estate agent business model? In other words, your income, you would say my income is, how do you guys get income? What's the model? And you can't say selling properties, because then my answer is, well, how do you sell properties? There is a very clear 1-sentence way to describe everything in the real estate business. So somebody unmute and tell me what your business model is.
Building relationships.
Very good. Give me one more. Somebody else unmute. Okay. Since we're, stay tight on time, I'll go with that. So and whoever that was, thank you so much. Your income is based upon building relationships, is essentially what you said. That is very close to my final answer. So here we go. We're going to fill out 4 areas that we can go deeper and deeper on multiple calls if you guys so wish to invite me. We'll start in the upper right-hand corner, and we're going to write E to P. We're going to go very fast past this section, and I'm going to tell you this is probably where I spend most of the time. I'm going to guess that most of you, if there's 10 people on this call, 9 out of 10 people are going to be in E, and we'll just call that as winging it. That's using your natural talent, your entrepreneurial talent to do a really good job for your clients. Doesn't mean that you don't care and all that stuff. It's just you're kind of winging the business. And my argument is to take everything that you learn year after year and move it towards P. P stands for purposeful. E stands for entrepreneurial, but I'm not going to spell that out. I will misspell it. I'll miss something in there. E to P. P stands for purposeful. If you were to move from winging it to purposeful, what would that mean? And for the sake of time, I won't ask that question. I will give you the answer. It is models. So what model am I in? Models, systems, tools, accountability, coaching, ongoing education. Models, systems, tools, accountability, coaching, ongoing education. That's how you become purposeful about something. So what is my specific business model? We'll stick with relationships for right now. So how do you become purposeful about those relationships, right? That's where the beginning of coaching starts. What's the model? I need to have enough relationships. So I'll start building upon that quote, that answer. Well, I have to have enough relationships to make X number of dollars, which is what I need to do to feed my family. And then once I'm consistent at that, I'm going to start working on my dreams. Okay, so that's a little bit deeper, right? So how many relationships do you need to feed your family, etc.? Might be a first level goal. So that's the beginning of a model. That's even deeper than just that quote. Systems. Well, systems, here's the note you can take in the margin. I won't write that, although I've already made a boo-boo scribble on here. Let me see if I can erase that right here. Perfect. Systems have numbers. That's the note I'd want you to take. Systems have numbers. Okay? So if I'm going to ask you, what system do you use to stay in touch with your clients? And you would say, which clients? The ones that I haven't met or the ones that I have deep relationships with? Oh, I didn't know there was 2 types. Yes, there are. I'm very purposeful about who we're talking about. Well, what do you mean? So the people that you might have not built a relationship with, we'll call haven't met, and that means meet deeply. So that could be a group of people that you met at an open house. I would want you to contact them 6 times over 6 weeks, or 8 times over 8 weeks, or 4 times over 4 weeks, depending on what we build together. That would be a 4x4, a 6x6, or an 8x8. What's his name? Hans Herder. Is it Hans Herder? Joseph, who's the trainer? Herder. What's his name? They run an 8x8. Hans Herder. What's his name? Hans Herder. Anyway, you could look it up.
I know who it is.
They recommend an 8x8. So when you meet somebody new, you contact that person.
And I think Keller Williams copied it, didn't they?
Yeah, Keller Williams copied it. You're right. You contact that person 8 times over 8 weeks. And the rule of thumb is no less than 2 personal face-to-face or voice-to-voice. Anyway, if I were to ask you individually about a system, you have to answer with a number. That means you understand what the system is. Tools, well, those are things that are like, what CRM do you use? how do you put a listing presentation together with a computer program?
That's what it was.
Thank you. Accountability. So tools are what do you use to get the job done? Accountability is who helps you answer to your own goals, somebody that you trust. So it could be a Krista, could be a Joseph, it could be your coach, it could be some sort of other business coach, etc. Who do you answer to that helps you with your goals, that talks to you about when you're off or praises you when you're on? Do you have that? And then next is coaching. Almost everybody that I work with ends up getting into private coaching. I was completely resistant to it at the beginning, and it was an amazing journey after I got into it. And then ongoing education. I'm definitely guilty of this in the beginning, which is, I know what I was. I was the national sales trainer for Toyota before I got in the real estate business. I grew up in the car business. I had my parents owned dealerships, my grandparents owned dealerships. I started selling when I was like 10, actually washing cars when I was 10, but I started selling on the lot when I was 16. So I was like, these people can't teach me anything. Just point me in the direction of the houses. I'll sell them. And that is the wrong attitude. Ongoing education means that you don't act that way, which is hubris, and you keep learning and growing. And so I've spent countless hours in different sessions with different top people just to walk out of there with maybe one technique that I hadn't heard of before that I could help my agents out with. So E to P, model systems, tools, accountability, ongoing education. That is one piece that's wildly important to get your head around. Now, the next piece is, I briefly talked about it, is how does the database section of the business work? Joseph Keller Williams stole these words here, which is Met. Okay, sorry. Met database. That was Hobbs-Herder as well.
Yeah.
Haven't met.
Better.
Okay. So you'll draw this better and you'll write better handwriting than me. That is a lake in the bottom right-hand corner. That squiggly thing is a lake. And I want you to write Met database inside your beautiful lake. In fact, it's a mountain lake. Now I'm drawing the mountains, and the snow melts and the little stream goes into the lake. And I'm drawing another mountain, and the stream goes into the lake, and there's another stream, and there's another mountain, there's another stream, and there's a mountain, and there's another stream, and a mountain. And you get the idea. In real life, let me ask somebody, anybody can unmute. If there's a beautiful mountain stream and the water from the melting snow flows down and feeds this beautiful mountain stream, what happens if the snow went away, the stream's dried up? What would happen to the lake?
Dry up.
That is what happens to your database if you don't keep feeding it. There's no such thing as a static database. Think of it like your personal weight loss journey or health journey. You're either gaining weight or losing weight. You're either doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and there's just no maintaining, right? You're either eating and not exercising, or you're exercising and calorie deprivating. And that's the same with your database. There's no cruise control, okay? Over here, I want you to write 4 laws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are the 4 laws of lead generation. And you can write that out, okay? Now, in the database, because the 4 laws are going to come up pretty quick, your activities every day are the streams. That's where you're thinking, how do I meet new people that I can put into my lake? The lake is where I build the deep relationships. So you can do, and you can write notes on the side, you can do about 1 to 4, but no more than 4 streams really well in your business. And those are things like geographic farming, working open houses purposefully, not entrepreneurially. So Jason and Laura, the story that I told you, the people in La Cañada, They said, DJ, we're going to pick one stream and we're going to develop the best open house in the business. That's how we're going to build our business purposefully. And we need to make $3 million a year. They're greatly involved in their church and they build wells in third world countries. So just keep in mind, I knew exactly the number, and you'll know the number in a second, of how to advise them on to make how to make $3 million a year. It's a certain amount that they needed in their database. Okay. And I said, you'll need this many. And they said, we're going to do it through open houses. And they developed over the years a mega open house that on average, and they're famous for it in the Pasadena area, they get anywhere from 600 to 1,100 people through an open house. One open house. So think, and they only do one, and it sells 600 to 1,100 people. Think of the logistics. Think of the parking. I mean, wouldn't you like to just do one open house and it sells every single time, and you add 600, maybe 500 or 300 people to your database? That's what they did. And you can look them up, called the Burns team. I think they've written things about it, etc. Geographic farming, open houses. Oops. Cold calling. What else? Meeting people socially. Internet. I don't know why it's not drawing right there. Internet. You guys could sort of see it. What else? Give me some other ways that you would, if I said, I need you to meet 10 people today, your life depends on it, what would you do?
Do your errands and talk to everyone along the way.
Errands, so socially, yes, write that down. So if I were to work with you individually, I would keep going. We'd spend 20, 30 minutes. There's a form. You could look it up. I think Buffini has one. I think Tom Ferry has one. I don't have it on me. You could look at the initial database list of 100 people to jar your memory. Just kind of throw that into Google. It'll come up. If not, have Krista reach out to me and I could get that. There's like a list that's like, who's your barber? Who takes care? Who's the dog person? Who's the coach at school? Who changes your oil? And it kind of jogs your memory, and you have to go out as homework and fill in all 100. Great exercise to do. Okay. Mary Kay has the best lead jogger. Thank you, Krista. Once you do those activities, so let's say you're Jason and Lauren, DJ, I'm only going to do open houses, or maybe one of you says I'm going to do open houses in geographic farming. Then I'm going to expect you as the leader to meet X number of people per day and have X number of people in your database. The two systems that I'm going to recommend for the sake of this call are somewhere in the neighborhood of that Hobbs herder 8x8 and somewhere in the neighborhood of a 30 to 40 touch. And let's see if I can scroll this. I can, and I'll scroll back to it really quick. This is very deep, takes hours. I only have 5 more minutes. This is what a basic 33, 35 touch would look like. Kind of down here is automatic. And up here is the necessity relationship building part. Automatic gets mind share. So that's like 12 emails a year, 12, let's call it newsletters, slow mails. So call it slow mail. So you got 12 newsletters, which are slow mail, 12 emails. That's 24 touches already right there once a month. Then we could put social media here, and we would have to go deep on the number of posts, etc., that you do, social media. We could develop a whole business just out of that. And then let's go 4 handwritten notes. Now I'm getting into the heart zone here. 4 handwritten notes a year. 4 actual, why is it freezing on me? 4 calls. For the sake of time, please write 4 calls and 1 client party. And it could be 1 to 4 client parties, depending on your business. So let's count that up. 12 emails, 12 newsletters, that's 24 touches plus 4 handwritten notes. That is 28 touches plus 4 calls. There we go. 4 calls That's 32. And then here we are to 33 to 30, ballpark 36 touch. That's a system. So we would have to spend time, right, getting the automatic pieces that go out, pick a social media plan, buy the handwritten cards, get over the fact that you think you might not know what to write. Then you'd have to know scripts for the calls, right? And then you're like, how the heck do I throw an incredible client party? I've never thought of that. Help me out. That's what a system is. And we can go a lot deeper on a separate call. So that's the basic idea of the lake. The lake is where we do that relationship building, and we do activities outside of the lake to put more people in the lake, stream to lake. 4 laws are, number 1, create a database. If you don't have a database, create a database. Tell Krista, hey, get DJ to just do the 4 laws with me. Okay, I'll do a class just on this. And I can tell you probably the best database is not the one that you're thinking of that's like ACT or Constant Contact or something like that. There's one that beats all of those, and you will roll your eyes if I tell you someday. But for right now, think I need a database, right? Number 2, feed. Why does it do this to me? Okay. Feed it daily. I'm going to bet everybody on this call does not add 3 people or more per day to their database. If I ran a coaching program, with you guys, I would have over 2 months, I would have 2 days, 1 per month, where you actually make 100 live contacts in a day. So we would have competitions around that and then talk about your ideas. How did you get it done? What did you do? How hard was it? Because if I make you do twice in a lifetime, 100 live contacts in a day, then asking you to add 3 people to a database, my God, you could walk to Albertsons and do it. But until you have that perspective of how easy or how much work you could actually do, i.e. like Navy SEALs, till you have that perspective, you think that adding 3 people a day to your database is hard. But the secret is growing your database daily. Most agents completely start and stop lead generation, and that is the secret to failure. Number 3, I'm not going to write all these words, consistent, and systematic. You just saw what a 33, 35 touch, systematic contact. Consistent and systematic contact. Consistent and systematic contact. We just talked about that, so I won't go into too much on that. Number 4, service all leads. So this is where number 4, by the way, is like years of development. Well, why is that? Because the minute that you have too many leads and you can't service them properly, meaning return calls on time, take care of clients, listen to them, not be frazzled. That means, and you're at the same time signing, and this is the real number, 4 to 5 listings a month for 4 to 5 months in a row, and you're starting to get frazzled, then it's time to go down the leadership path and begin building a team. So number 4 leads into all sorts of stuff, understanding I was a salesperson before. Now I have to be a leader. I'm building a business, when before it was just like self-employed, kind of like a chiropractor, right? But now now you're buying the building and you're hiring chiropractors. So number 4, that's very deep. All right, I'm going to slow down. We're almost done, and then we can ask any questions. This one's 2 lines. You're going to draw 1 line here. You're going to draw a line below it. You're going to put dollars here. You're going to put, you're going to put database here. Okay? Dollars and database. And there is 40 years of studies on this. So let's go test question. How much money will you make per year if there are 0 people in your database?
0.
0.
Wow, you guys are great. All right, so this good job.
I had to think real hard on that one.
Good job. All right, so $1 million a year. Remember, that was my class. So this is where I started with these guys. $1 million a year. That's $83,000 a month. how many people do you need to have? And I'm really highlighting this. This is, hey, DJ, I had a geographic farm. Yeah, well, how many people do you have a relationship with? Are you the real estate agent that they refer people to? Well, I don't know. I mean, I just mail to them. Oh, that's not what I taught. Right? You're fired. No, it's not like that. Okay, so
I
it
hear
doesn't want to draw anymore.
What's coming?
Yeah. All right, there we go. All right, so what I'm referring to is a database that you've met, that you have a relationship, and these people would refer to you if they knew somebody who was buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Okay, how many people do you think you have? And this is a long 40-year study. How many people do you need to have in your database to make $83,000 a month?
The old school was 50.
Okay. Keep going. Anybody else? And these are varying relationships. So whoever said that, I appreciate it. Maybe you were Buffini coached. If so, 50 would have been your A pluses. So you're right in a way. I'm talking about your A's, A pluses, B's, C's, maybe even a D database that you just send something to once a month. But people that you've met and have a relationship with, I'll give you the answer. There's 1,960, almost 2,000. Guarantees $1 million per year, like clockwork. So if I had you add 3 people a day new to your database for 200 business days a year, okay, that means you get to take 165 days off, either actual off or from accountability from me, right? That's 600 per year. And what is 1,960 divided by 600? It's like 3, right? 3.5? Nobody? 3 to 4. Let's just say 3 to 4. You could literally, at adding 3 people a day for 200 business days in a row, you would have 3 to 4 of the most fantastic, 3.5 to 4 years of the most fantastic growth in your business. Joy, because it's growing. You don't have fear, no market fear. And by, let's call it year 4, you have the size of a database where you make $83,000 a month. I mean, this is what I had to get through to these folks. It's breaking it down to just add 3 people a day, 5 days a week, 200 business days in a row. Now you've got 600 in your first year, right? Let's see what those people make along the way. Half is $500,000 a year. So about 1,000 people in your database, you make about 500,000 a year. Half of 500,000 is 250, and it is true that a nice solid 500 in your database makes you 250,000. Now here's why the class is called 300. What's half of 250,000? Anybody?
125.
And what's half of 500?
250.
250. So 250 people in your database, you'd logically think you make 120,000, but I'll write it very big. You quit the real estate business. What they found, and this is a 25-year NAR statistic, is everybody that has less than 300 people in their database ends up quitting. So it all breaks down to shit. You can quote me on that, below 300.
I have to laugh. So, unmute to laugh.
Oh, yeah. So if you want shit, just honestly have 300 or less in your database, and your business is going to be up or down, left or right. You're not going to know, how this month's going to be. You can't chart anything. The second you get to 300, you're going to start to see stability. Now, if we really work it, and again, we can get into A, B, C's, D's, A pluses, and talk client parties and all this stuff, all the depth. But I'm going to stop here. I'm probably like 5 minutes long. I'm going to end with the quote, right? Hopefully this has made some good sense. The quote at the top, very great guess who I'm going to see whoever's face that was in a second because I can't see your faces. The quote that we started with is your income. I'll even write it. Your income is directly proportional. Whoops, that's Eh. Ah, it's not working. Hold on. Proportional to the size. Size does matter. To proportional to size and quality, meaning are these haven't mets in a geographic farm that you just send mailers to? No. These are people that you have relationships with that you've asked, hey, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate or had a friend or family member who was, can I be the realtor that you refer people to? Great. And then you have a system that you keep in touch with them. That's what quality means. So then once we're purposeful about what quality is, then size does matter of your database. That is the real estate business. Your income is directly proportional to the size and quality of your database. And I won't press end, but I'll press stop sharing and just see if you guys have any questions. If you hated everything or you knew everything, please let me know. But let me know by telling Krista. And Krista, if anybody hated it, don't tell me. It'll affect my self-esteem.
All right. I did all the paperwork, everything you drew.
Good.
Well,
yours looks prettier than mine.
Yeah, yours is way prettier than mine.
Yeah. Alex Serb, let me ask him a question really quick. Alex Serb, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
You were doing, was it 12 transactions a year when I met you?
Yes.
Okay. How many people do you have in your database? Let me guess. You have about 257 people in your database.
You're really close because I was thinking when I sent the last newsletter, it was now more than 300. So yeah, you're
right. So how do I know this, mofos? Right? That's me swearing competitively. I played college sports. How do I know this stuff?
Numbers don't lie.
No, business is numbers. Thank you. So how does Alex Serb? And by the way, great job, Alex, getting 257, 12 units in today's world. That's pretty effing good. I like to swear when I get really excited. So how does Alex Serb go to 24 units?
Double the database.
Okay, so
you asking for referrals from your database.
Yes. And Krista, yes, as well. Thank you. Who's that lady in
April.
April. I think you're also the voice that answered my question at the beginning. Nice to meet you, April.
So
logically, Krista, you would think you would add another 256 to get 12. But the meeting of the 256 to become kind of loving Alex Serb, and he's a lovable guy. I already like him after talking to him. But it took a little while for those 256 to turn into 12 units. So Alex Serb, guess what? You got to add 3 people a day for 200 business days in a row in 2025. Add 600 to your database. There's going to be some turds in there. There's going to be people that they like bald guys, and they don't like brunettes that look like Clark Kent, right? There's going to be people that look at Clyde's mustache. I don't trust mustache. You're just not going to jive with everybody, right? So you got to really get on a plan of adding the right number of people so that about 256 relationships pop out somewhere in 2026. And now you're going to start heading towards the 24. It's not going to happen immediately. Now you could supplement it immediately if you wanted to get into something like a Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry program where you cold call expired listings for sale by owners. But doing it my way, the old-fashioned way, the database relationships, the love, where you have fun with people, it takes time. So you have to really up the game. So you're like, all right, DJ, I'm going to add 600 people by cold calling. Well, you're going to get some now business and relationships. That's cool. Or like, DJ, I'm going to pick up a 3,000 home geographic farm. And rather than just mail to it, I'm going to do an 8x8 on the geographic farm, which means I'm going to mail 8 things over the first 8 weeks. And then I'm going to door knock everybody over 2025. And I'm going to meet 600 of the 3,000 while they're still getting all of my material. By the way, and I'll end this answer on this, or this, maybe the whole part on this. It was another company, it wasn't Hobbs Herder, did a study on geographic farms. They took it was a 2,500 home geographic farm, and they sent out a survey to the people that live there, and they said, who's the top realtor? And it just came back all garbled. And there was nobody's mind got it right, meaning they named a bunch of different people. And there was actually somebody that was the top person, and that person wasn't always the person named. So they created a fake real estate agent, and they, like John King works, Roland Heights, right? And they did the marketing, and they sent out 8 of John King over 8 weeks, no door knocking. Obviously, it's a fake guy. And they said, John King, John King, John King, John King, John King. They ran the survey again. The guy had 49% mind share. Like 1 out of 2 people said, well, I think John King's the #1 guy in the area. So, man, when you do things purposefully, right, magic happens. That's what I want for you, Alex Serb, and of course, everybody else, right? All right, questions. I know I went long, Krista, so you can yell at me for that a little bit, but.
That's all good. We go long all the time.
Questions. Anything's fine, or get lost is good too.
I have a question.
Okay.
You said something about a database, and that we're not going to believe which one is the best one.
The best one. I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
You kind of look like John Mayer. That's who he looks like. You could put a guitar in his hand. He looks like John Mayer, right, Susie? Susie knows.
Never
All
heard
right.
that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say you met somebody right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, man, my wife and I are actually thinking of buying in a couple of months. We don't have a realtor. The last guy is a jerk. What would you do? Oh, okay, I'll stay in touch with you, DJ. My God, nice to meet you, Alex Serb. Yeah, I'm your guy. Okay, great. What happens next?
Get their number.
Okay, so he gets their number. Now what happens? Keep going. That's good, April. Keep going.
Phone number, get everything. Find out what their best method of communication is.
Okay, you got all of that. You got your notes. Now what happens?
Follow up.
I'm under the understanding. I'm under understanding that the best database out there is whichever one you use.
Okay, I love it. So which one do you use, Susie? Because you'll see where I'm going.
I actually use Intel Agent.
Agent? Okay.
Some people use their cell phone. They put it in their cell phone, and their contacts as their database.
Okay, so you did what April did. You're getting ready to do what Rajan suggested, which is follow up. You've got all of my information. You go into your phone and do IntelliAgent and put it in there, right?
I do both. It's in my phone contact and it's in my IntelliAgent.
Okay, so how long does that take you to add it?
A minute.
On IntelliAgent or my phone?
Either one. To where you're like, I got this guy loaded.
My phone, like a minute. IntelliAgent, I'm a little bit more systematic because I label them and all that. So that takes a little longer.
Okay, so what system would, let's just say you're also have the mind of Rajan in you. What system would you do if I said, 3 months, we're ready to buy? What would you do?
I would immediately text them and say, it was great to meet you.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear that you're looking for a home within 3 months. I'll stay in touch with you. And if you have any questions, please get back to me and make sure your entire information is on there.
I don't have any questions. You're awesome, April. Can't wait. Yeah. Now what do you do?
Book an appointment.
You contact me again?
Book an appointment.
When's that?
As soon as possible.
How do you remember to do that? If you're meeting 3 people a day, you're working a geographic farm, you're holding 2 open houses a weekend, you're cold calling 45 people, Krista sends you 2 leads, Christy Cooper calls you and goes,
put everything in your calendar right now.
Okay, Okay, see where I'm going, Alex, right? Mm-hmm. This is not as easy, it's complicated. So what DJ teaches, until you're super advanced on all the stuff, is an accordion folder. That's the funny part. It's $13 to buy all of my database materials one time. It's not $13.95 a month. It's you go to Staples and you buy a 1 through 31 accordion folder. You buy 3x5 cards blank, stacked like that, it's $3. The accordion folder is $10. And you get a pen, right? And Susie met me, or whoever met me, Alex met me, right? DJ Berg, 626-831-3336, wants to buy in 3 months, 8 by 8. Okay. Now, I make choices like April was talking about how she would do it, right? So now I'm going to really want to contact this guy according to my systems 8 times over the next 8 weeks. It could be my handwritten note. It could be call. I could send him a video. I could send him a tchotchke. I could meet him for coffee, April, all of that stuff. So I could personalize this all much faster than you, right? DJ Berg, 66831. That's all the information I had on him, right? 8 by 8. Now, I want to start this with this guy tomorrow. So today is, what's today? Monday? So I open up my folder. What's the date today, guys? What's the date?
13th.
13th. And I take the 3 by 5 card and I put it in, what do you guess? 14. 14. I'm done. You guys are still loading in Intel Agent, deciding what you want to do. Blah, 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 blah. It all says DJ Berg, phone number 8 by 8. Now, my goal every day is when I'm done lead generating and I go to my follow-up systems, I open up the 13th. I pull out all of the cards because I'm lead generating like a mad dog. You know, I've got people from About. I've got the people from Geographic Farming. The people I met at Home Depot, the ones I met in Starbucks, the guy that I met. And you think I haven't sold houses in Starbucks? A lot of them. It was actually Pete's Coffee next to Caltech in Pasadena. Man, that's the best. You just go sit there and drink coffee, you'll sell houses. Yeah. Everybody's rich. And there's like PhDs too. So anyway, I pulled that thing out from the 13th and I worked the systems that I wrote down. So I'm calling Rajan. Rajan met you yesterday at Starbucks. It's DJ following up. You guys are buying in 3 months. And then I say, what's the best way to contact you? And they're not, hey, I'm sending out a hand or whatever, right? Just have a convo. By the way, you know, I don't know if you know this, most of these realtors go out and do this thing called lead generating where they, you know, try to find new people, not me. I work with people just like you who I've met and have a relationship. And all that I ask is that over time, as you start to appreciate the way that I work, that you send me people of like mind, i.e., you know, when you run into neighbors and, you know, they're having a garage sale and they're going to list, just give me a call. And you don't, let me just ask this again, you don't have a real estate agent that you would refer people to if you knew somebody else that was thinking about buying or selling. Is that correct, Rajan? And he's like, no, you don't have to unmute. I got you. And he's like, no. And I'm like, great. So now I'm like, queue for qualified. And then I decide what my next thing is. Okay, I think that was a great convo. So tomorrow I'm going to write a handwritten note. So now it goes into the 15th. Or, you know, that was a great convo. He says, don't bug him too much for the next 2 months. You know, we'll be really heavy, hard and heavy to go. So I used my buyer script on him. Hey, Rajan, I totally understand you don't want to be bugged. I'm just going to let you know that for somebody like you, it's a competitive market out there on the buy side. Regardless of what you read on the media, you got to be prepared. I very often start working with people, buyers like yourself, 9 months in advance of making a purchase. And we're 3 months away and you don't want me to bother you to the last month. I'm just going to let you know that you would probably go in the category of a B buyer for me at that time, because out there in the marketplace, rushed, not knowing what you're going to look at, all of the stuff, who knows if you're pre-qualified, you're not going to be an A-type buyer to listing agents. I would love to not bother you, but up the urgency and put you through a buyer system where I can get all of the questions answered, like a buyer consultation, get you fully prepared so that 3 months you're an A buyer to people who are listing out there. Does that make sense? Yeah, and then they go, yeah. So there's different things, right? I mean, but that's all just learning, right? A buyers,
so
B
DJ,
buyers. Yeah.
DJ, question for you. So that all sounded pretty conversational, but do you have scripts that you use to actually be able to roll that off your tongue?
Yes. So best way, and if you want to make them original, I'll tell you, you got the best world ever. So just go like this. Go into Google, go Keller Williams, buyer scripts, seller scripts, and then you'll see PDFs. Save it into a folder. Go Tom Ferry, buyer scripts, seller scripts. You'll see people posted PDFs and stuff. Put it into a folder. Go Mike Ferry, buyer scripts, seller scripts. Put it into a folder, right? And then I would use it directly off of there. But if, you know, Clyde, if you want to change it up, then you take your top 5 or even your top favorite Tom Ferry script out of that folder, copy paste it, put it into ChatGPT and go, hey, give me 10 variations of this script. And it'll go So we're in a magical time right now, right? Back in my day, you used to have to come to me like that, Clyde, and I'd be like, well, we'll meet at coffee and you better bring $50 or something because I'm helping. No, but I mean, I'm literally helping you out because or you have to go to Mike Ferry, pay the, $6.99. There was books when I started with listings. I don't know if
we had teletype machines.
Yes. Right. So that's the right question, Clyde, but the answer is so much better now. You just Google Keller Williams, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry. And here's my advice to, let's say Clyde wants to be the best with scripts. You print out a buyer presentation. So Tom Ferry will have a buyer presentation. Keller Williams has a buyer presentation. Mike probably does too. Brian Buffini does. You'll find it where they give you, where an agent, where they're giving you the full buyer presentation. No joke, when I started people on their presentations, and a lot of them still do it super experienced, I would have you print out that buyer presentation. You can rewrite it and, retype it out if you want, or just print it out verbatim, and you get a non-clear clipboard and a pen. Print it out. Let's say it's 4 pages long, and there's probably 57 questions in a buyer presentation, right? You got your pen, clipboard, goes like this, right? Maybe put your branding on the top of it. You walk into the presentation and you say, DJ, my name's Clyde. Great to see you. We met at the thing, and we're going to begin the process of you guys, and you can say anything you want, make it lovely, right? Of you guys finding your dream home. Like a doctor, I take great notes, so I don't try to leave any stone unturned. Would you be offended if I take notes with you today, Clyde, you and your lovely wife?
No, not at all.
Great. So I've got a few questions. I've got to make my way through that questions. It's like diagnosing, baldness, you and me, right? It's like diagnosing that, right? So I got to ask some questions. Now I get my clipboard, right? And I get my pen and I say, question number 1, the exact time frame, or whatever it is. What's the exact time frame again that you guys had to move? Now, why do you have to move? Right? Gotcha. And do you have any kids, or whatever the questions are? You guys can pull it up. You literally sit there with a pen and ask the questions by reading them. The last question, do you choose me to be your real estate agent for this process? Yes. Great. Sign here. Great. I'll make photocopies for you. Oh, on the back's the new rest of the buyer contract or whatever bullshit, whatever, right? Sign there, right? Boom. By the time they've gone 57 questions with you, they already love you. Why? Because people, they want it about them. They don't want to know about Clyde that much. No offense. I do, right? Because even saying that makes Clyde like me. That's what the 57, right? I want to know about Clyde. I really do. No joke. And I will get to meet Clyde someday. But even those words make Clyde go, DJ's pretty cool. That's why 57 questions about them. Oh my God, they're going to be loving you guys. Okay, what are the questions you guys have? That's a good one. Yeah.
One of my coaches actually was in the car industry. That was his first business as well. And he said the same thing. He's like, warm with form, right? So ask them questions: family, occupation, recreation, what's their motivation? And all you do is ask a question, then a follow-up to be like, that's amazing. Or that.
And the listing presentation, the same. It's on a clipboard.
Yeah.
It's on a clipboard. You read the questions because you don't want to leave any stone unturned. Would you be offended if I take great notes? I'll give you copies.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's so easy.
You know what I love about that is I've been waiting for the market to go back to old school because I love doing old school.
Yes. Yes.
And I always will look at my notes handwritten before I look at my computer notes.
Yes. And Ford. Yes. Thank you guys. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, April. So, any other questions? Anybody want to ask me a trick question? Listen to what I've said so far, right? Accordion notes, accordion folder for your database. Copy the best questions that already exist. You don't have to memorize them. Put them on a clipboard and read them. But I just made you look good. Because you're not going to be fumbling around. All right. Anyway, sorry, April, I spoke over.
That's okay. I was just going to say, when I was trained back in the day, we were told when you talk about performance, that there are performance times and there are transaction times and there's other times. So if you do not have any listings or buyers, then your entire day is prospecting.
Oh, hell yeah.
You prospect your ass off until you get excuse my language, until you get a listing or buyer.
Yes.
And then you rearrange your day, that works for that situation. But you always do all your administration and all the things that you can do that are paperwork related when you're not having to talk to somebody after hours, when you're not able to talk to anybody. You never do it during your production time. So
it's 3 hours a day, no less. And by the way, single mom that I worked with couldn't lead generate during the day, the kids, it just, just everything was no when I was trying to help her. She had to lead generate between the hours of 6 and 9. That's all we started, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to figure everything else out. I just did the notes on a clip, or the presentation on a clipboard. She lead generated from 6 to 9. That's all I held her accountable to. She made $500,000 a year.
There you go.
But I'm like, dude, I will not answer another effing question. I'm not. I had, hundreds and hundreds of agents in these offices. I had managers, but I would go into training, so they, would ask me questions about training stuff. Listen, Christy, no offense, I don't have time for you if you don't lead gen from 6 to 9, because you're not doing the very basic thing you need to move forward. I'm only asking of one thing, and then I have all the time in the world for you, right? But you know how we are. You're trying to suck the lifeblood out of me, and you're not lead generating from 6 to 9. That's what I need you to do. And I need you to make mistakes doing it, right? I need you to fumble and miss passes and get injured a little bit. That's called, grit. I got to see that you have the determination, right, Joseph Bradley?
Yep.
I got Joseph Bradley in a program right now, 0 complaints. Meaning he has 0 complaints so far. We'll see what happens.
But not against you, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So far, we're only 1.5 weeks in.
All I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Any other questions? I'm not trying to wrap it up, but I'm trying to be respectful.
What do you charge?
Oh, me? Oh, I do this for free for you guys as much as you want. Now, they've got different cadres with coaches, but here's the answer to that, April. I want a shot at every one of your loans. Can I get that from you?
What is your loan company?
It is up there with a really good guy, Encompass Lending, Brad Turpin.
Oh, okay.
And I will train. You will hate me, but you'll get every loan. Meaning, it's like what I said to Christy.
I love Encompass.
I'll be like, April, come on, you got to pull your weight.
Okay, cool.
But Krista, if you want to do something special and include April in it, and like get a group together, if you guys want to meet once a week and we keep it to 15 minutes, April, I'm all in for you guys. I love real estate agents. I'm super passionate, as you can tell, about making you guys successful. It's super fun for me to see you not struggle, because most agents that I meet who aren't coached, who don't have guidance like this, they're struggling. And I know they're leading lives of quiet desperation. Hell no, you guys should. I learned from a guy that lived in a house that he sold to Halle Berry. He lived in the house, and Halle Berry bought his house. That ought to tell you how nice that realtor's house was. He only sold it for a cool $7 million, but that was 20, maybe 15 years ago. And Halle Berry bought his. Those are the realtors I spend time with, because I'm like, why am I going to go spend time with Billy Bob, down at the bar, when I could go to Michael Dilsaber's house and kind of go, hey, Michael, can I see your next client party? He's like, well, don't meet me at that house. I just sold my house to Halle Berry. I'm like, holy shit. And by the way, it was beautiful. And so is Halle Berry. No, I just said that for me.
How do we contact you?
Here's my cell, 626-831-3336. My favor to ask is that rather than directly, unless it's crisis mode, right? The crisis, is to kind of work through Krista to get me on so we can share as a group, right? That would, but April, I mean, if any of you are like, you know, I'm stranded, I'm off the 10 freeway in Arizona, I'll come and get you, right?
I got a flat tire, you know.
Kind of work through Krista, and all that I ask in return is that at worst every other loan, allow me to follow up, or allow Krista to follow up and yell at you. Like, in other words, if April is like, her business is exploding, right? And she's doing great. She's at all the trainings, and she's like, DJ is a demigod. He's amazing. He walks on water. I'm making $1 million or whatever, right? And Krista looks down, and every loan has gone to Johnny at Loan Depot because he buys you cheese sandwiches and Chardonnay on Thursday. That's not what I'm asking for, right? I'm asking to give Brad a shot because Encompass pays this for me to help develop the entire coaching company that you guys will experience. So we need the family to work together, if that makes sense, April. And I do appreciate you asking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super helpful. And again, right, Fathom Business Systems, this is all part of that coaching thing that is sponsored by Encompass Lending. So they're heavily invested in your success because that helps them be successful as well. So we're all working together, and that's really kind of what DJ is getting at. This is a group effort. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys want to do group stuff, get ready, because if April sends in that request, and I expect everybody else here to be on, one of the first things we're going to do is 100 contact day. So if you know, everybody, like for me, like if I heard that, you know, I would have to go get some Depends, because I would I would tinkle a little bit down there. Like I'm like that. The first time I hear stuff like that, I get terrified, right? So, but now I know what it's done for so many people, including me. I've done the 100 contact days many times.
Yeah.
So that's going to be what we're going to do. A little, if you guys want to do it, it's not going to be easy, April. So be careful what you ask for. She smiles at me. I love it. She's fierce. I love it.
I'm excited.
Dialing for dollars.
Dialing for dollars or meeting people, you know, and there's no rules, but yeah, you're right. All right. I'm good.
Great stuff, DJ. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you. I know we're long. We
Good
went
deal,
long,
DJ.
which is awesome because it was all great content. So I appreciate you, DJ. I know your time is very valuable as well. And everyone who's on the call, I know you're all super busy. So I appreciate you taking the time. If you haven't had your one-on-one with Brad, did you put your contact info in the chat?
I can do that.
And anyone else who wants to put their contact info in the chat, please do that. Says Susie, when are you getting Spanish lenders? When are we getting Spanish lenders, DJ?
Yeah, I'm that broken record at Summit that kept on asking you that question.
My wife's completely bilingual, but she's not a lender. Brad, we need to get that done. So I need to get a Spanish speaker on Brad's team.
And a Hebrew one.
Oh,
did we? What's her name? My friend that I sent you that you've known forever.
I didn't. I actually hit her up after the holidays, and I haven't heard back.
Okay.
So,
Susie,
that's
I'm going to give you the worst answer, and that is, we're on it.
I have a
yeah, you said that at Summit too.
I have a suggestion that helps in the meantime when you're trying to figure that out. Is you can type in a text into your phone and that will translate.
It doesn't translate well.
But it doesn't make
loan officers. They're just not here in Cali, and that's what we're working on getting.
Yeah. It's better than nothing.
But if anybody on this call, here's what I can tell you. If anybody on this call knows any Spanish-speaking lenders, use my cell phone for that. If you know any of them, like, I don't care. Everybody send me 2 or 3. There you go. April Bachi. Who? Oh, is that April?
That is actual April. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's just her contact info.
Thank you. Send me Spanish-speaking lenders. I will hire them.
There you go.
Hey,
I always say poquito español, and I know how to say panada, and you make your fingers go together. You remember that? You remember
That's
that?
what made my wife fall in love with me, I'm sure.
Talk a lot. I took Spanish for 7 years. I barely speak it, but I can understand more than I speak.
That's my first language, so yo quiero Taco Bell. I don't
Hey,
look
nice.
it. I look like I
Nice.
speak a different language, but
Well, unless you're Filipino, because that would make sense.
Chinese, Japanese, Peruvian.
Oh, oh, Peruvian. Aha, that's the Japanese connection. Boom, got you.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
You got any Jewish or Israeli lenders? That's not a joke.
I don't know. I have to get back to you on that one.
What you want him to speak Yiddish to you, Bradley? Joseph Bradley? What do you want?
In Hebrew. No, I'm Jew. I belong to.
Yeah, I know, but are you buying or selling a home right now?
No, but I have Jews that are, and they have a certain lender they like to use because they want to keep it within the rabbis.
The community
have a certain, I forgot what the name is, places down in LA.
If you have Jews that are buying a house, they can pay cash. I know they can.
Really?
Just tell them pay cash.
Would you please tell my son that?
That's so funny. Oh my god!
Seriously, they have some of them.
Actually, Joseph, get that guy's name, and
I'm
we'll bring him on board.
not racist or sexist or religion phobe at all. I just have flare-ups.
I don't even know.
I saw all nationalities equally.
No, I have a child of almost every color. Yeah. We have 4 kids, and yes, Clyde, I have a black child. Her name is Baylia Harmon. You can look her up, and she's about ready to get a soccer scholarship.
Sweet.
I've got Guatemalan. I've got one that we think might be Asian. We adopted a couple. Yep. Nice try, Clyde. Nice try, Clyde. Clyde tried to get me. I got him.
I wasn't trying to get you.
I know.
He's
like, how could he have a black
DJ.
child? But
you're all right, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you something.
I like you. It worked, DJ. You told me I like you. I'm starting to like you. You're wearing them.
That's a trick. No, I went to Boston Market. Here's my story for Clyde. I went to Boston Market. We were in the hood-ish with my daughter. This was a while back. And there was a brother behind the counter, and he had like some major tattoos. He had a hairnet, and I mean, it's just he had some stink eye. I mean, he was definitely like looking, So anyway, I'm getting the stuff, and at the end, he's like, "Who's that little girl right there?" And I'm like, "That's my daughter." And he's like, "I'm going to give you he goes, a white man raising a black daughter in today's world, I'm going to give you an extra chicken wing right now." He goes, "You're the man." He's like high-fiving, and she was little at the time. She's like, "What was that about?" And I was like, "Nah, nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." But I did get an extra chicken wing one time for that.
Right. Pretty good.
Nah, you guys are all right. All right.
I like that story. All right.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought he was going to, kill me. He was cool, though.
Hey, DJ, cool. I got to go. I got that one meeting that
all right.
4 more left.
No worries.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thanks
so much.
Thank you, guys.
It'll be like probably tomorrow. We'll get that out for you guys.
Thank you.
Beaver's team, I don't have an email for y'all. So if you can shoot me your email, I can get it to you. Otherwise, I don't have a way to do it. I'll send it to David, but I don't have your like, oh wait, maybe I do actually. I think I might be able to. It's just not my usual email. So I will try. Okay.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you very much, Krista.
You're welcome. Talk soon.
Thanks, you guys.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Blessings.